Hey YouTubers, what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you how to paint a goose decoy on a budget. And what I've got here is I bought some snow goose decoys on Craigslist, really cheap. And I'm not going to hunt for snow geese, I want to hunt for Canadian geese. And so what I did is I painted this one up here so you can see what it'll look like after it's done. That started out white. This one here I bought from the store so I could match the colors from one to the other. So as you can tell, it has fairly the same color scheme and everything like that. Everything looks pretty good. If you look at this one real close, it looks just a little blotchy, but if you look at this one here, it kind of has the same characteristics. You're not going to find one goose that's going to look identical, and if a decoy spread looks exactly the same, yeah, they're going to come in and stuff like that, but I guess my point is if they're so close that they can see a splotch on a goose, you should probably be shooting them and not looking at them. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is show you how to paint this one up, and we'll go ahead and get started. Alright, so what we're going to go ahead and do is start out with this this Rust-oleum product here. It's a plastic paint. This matches real well to the breast feathers, and it's a sandstone color. So what I'm going to do is, since these are plastic, I'm going to paint the entire thing with this one color. And it'll also help because the final paint that we use, that's going to be a little bit blotchy on it, will not show through on the white, but it will show through on the sandstone color, which will match the bird a lot better than white. So I'll go ahead and get started painting this here. Make sure you get the breast area really well, because that's going to be where it's going to be solid.
That's what she said.
And even though the back is going to be white anyway, I'm going to paint it, because if I ever have to touch it up, I'd have to touch it up with a plastic paint, or a paint that will adhere to plastic. So I'm just going to go ahead and repaint it now, so then if I have to touch it up, I can. Alright. So the next step I'll go ahead and show you when I get the dry one in. Alright, so the goose decoy is dried, and the next step that we're going to do is we're going to paint the neck and the head with just a Rust-oleum flat black enamel. And the reason you want to start with the head is because after you get the center part of the decoy done, if you do the head after that, you'll get a lot of overspray on that and it just won't look good. So we'll go ahead and start with this, and don't worry if you get a little bit down on this breast, because their feathers will kind of come down that way, and if you want to, you can touch it up later with some more of that sandstone. Try not to get a lot of runs in it though. Because I said so. This paint's coming out really fast. On the other decoys I used high temp grill paint, and it worked really good. It didn't come out nearly as fast as what this is. So I'll probably have to do some touching up. And if you get any on that back part, make sure you touch that up, because that see-through paint, that black will show through it, and you're going to have to touch it up with that see-through paint, and it's a little bit more money than the sandstone. It doesn't go quite as far either. Alright, so that's what that's going to look like. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to use, it's a multicolor, which I was a little nervous using this the first time, but it works really good. And it comes out really fast, so you got to be careful with this too. And the hardest part you're going to run into is trying to cut across that breast right there and making it a nice gentle curve. This is color autumn brown, which I think looks really good. If you're able to find something else, you know, I'm sure it'll work just fine too. But it took me a long time to find good colors that will work, so. Of course, if you get down on that brush a little bit, you can touch that up with that other color too. That's Sandstone. Alright, last and final step we're going to have. No, I take that back, we got to paint white yet. We're going to paint these back feathers black. Try not to get a lot where you're going to be painting white, or else you have to be a lot more careful, or you have to put more coats on. Alright, so that's kind of a rough of what it's going to look like, and I'll show you how to paint the white here in just a minute. That's it. Show it off. Alright, so what I'm going to go ahead and do now is I got all these decoys painted up. I'm just going to paint the white that goes around it. All I got was just bright white exterior flat paint. And you don't want to get anything too glossy or else it might reflect too much and they won't like that. So, cover in the black, you might need 2 coats. But all you're going to do is just go right along the edge there, paint all that in. It's pretty simple. Put it on a little bit thick. That's a 1-inch paintbrush I'm using there. I'm using a 1/2-inch paintbrush here to do around the cheeks. And there's still an outline from the mold, so we'll just kind of follow that. You'll probably need 2 coats on the black. So it shows through that white pretty well. So just go ahead and paint that in, and that's it. That's how you do it. So go ahead, feel free, subscribe. I'm going to have a lot more videos coming on duck hunting, goose hunting, fishing, and stuff like that. So if you're into that, subscribe, and I'll make sure to get some videos up. Thanks.